start. Second. Okay. Good afternoon. How was your lunch? Was it amazing? Okay, I'm a person who tends to like my people to be independent learners. This is something that I've worked on a lot with my teachers and my students along the years. So everything in the session is set on your table. So depending on the activity that you're going to see, you're going to reflect. This session is very practical, extremely practical. To be honest with you, I personally don't know the outcome of the session, and this is the key of inquiry-based learning. Hello. Have a seat, please. Yes. My name is Jessy Matta. I am a teacher trainer. I used to be vice principal for 11 years for primary schools, mostly KGs. I train teachers, and I am a teacher myself. So when you are a teacher, you can relate to the people and what the problems that we face. I work with Education Development Trust. We are, it's a British company. The seating plan. The seating plan, are you ready? When you came in, you had a paper with you, right? Yeah. Don't open it yet. Who's curious to know what is in the paper? Are you? Okay. When we set a seating plan in the classroom, we have to always think about three things. How do I want them to be seated? Today I want you to be seated as a group because my ideas are group work. Why? Because it's more fun and the shy students will be able to get more engaged and who. Now please open, each one of you open your paper. You are going to change, you are going to move outside the conference zone. So what do you have? Please search for your partner. Investigators will be sitting here because you said you're not. Communicators will be sitting here. Who else? What do we have other than investigator and communicator? Risk taker, you can remain seated. And what else? Who else do we have? Researchers in the back.
You have risk takers.
Yes. Investigators, communicators. I have lots of communicators, right? And only one researcher. Right. Since we don't have lots of people, if you don't mind to join here, to keep on, yes. Yes. Can you join them, please? Thank you. It would be easier like that. So, are you settled in your seating? Apologies. It's a good exercise after lunch. So, today we're gonna understand the different phases of IBL in inquiry-based learning. We're gonna use a variety of activities to enhance students' learning and queries, learn about the importance of using different types of charts in learning, and identify the 4 different types of IBL and their levels. We're going to also recognize how to use IBL in the classroom and define inquiry-based learning. This is a lot for a 90-minute session. But believe me, because it's hands-on, hopefully we will finish on time. Now, before we start, who knows about the KWL? Who uses KWL charts in their classrooms? I want you to write what you know about inquiry-based learning on your sticky notes, what you know and what you want to know, and please post them here. What do you know about inquiry-based learning? What do you want to know about inquiry-based learning, and post them here. If you are not the person who likes to move a lot, you can ask somebody to volunteer from the group and takes all the paper and stick them.
واطي.
What do I know? What do I want to know? I might not know anything about inquiry-based learning, so don't be shy. Feel free. Say I don't know anything about it. It's fine. You're not supposed to know everything. Now, are you ready to post them, please? Thank you. What I know and what I would like to know. We'll get back to this in the end of the session to see whether we were able to answer your questions. Yes. In the end, you're going to tell me what you learned. Maybe what you learned will be the part where you elaborated, hopefully. Are you ready? QWL chart is a very important component of inquiry-based learning in your classes, whether in KGs, in primary. If the students don't know how to write, they can simply draw a picture of what they know and what they want to know. Okay, so don't think that this is only applicable for grade 3 and above. No, it's applicable for any age. So when we want to when we know something, we can simply ask them, draw something about what you know. Now, in front of you, there are 3 types of honey, labeled 1, 2, 3. I want you to try for 1 minute as a group to guess 1 is organic, or not organic, or manufactured, or natural. There are 3 types. Honey, which one you think is organic? Which number is organic? Which number is manufactured? And which number is organic? Natural, homemade. I just
organic, natural,
and you're going to tell me why you think it's like that.
I don't know if it's from color, the density is too much. We don't
Okay, each group. Did you finish? Okay. Let's try and guess. Number 1, this group. What do you think? Can you raise it, please?
Number 1.
Yes. If you want. This is number 2. What is 2?
2, some of us think it's natural, some of us think it's manufactured.
Why do you think it's natural?
Okay, we based our guesses on the color.
Okay, so on the observation. On the observation, you use the observation. So the number... Feel free. No, honestly speaking, tasting is part of it sometimes, yes? What do you think number 1 is?
Actually, don't know. Maybe the organic one. This one might be the organic one.
Actually, why do you think it's organic?
Color just looks very dark, and the consistency.
The consistency and the color.
Yes.
Okay, what about you? It's okay. No worries, we're going to get them later on. This one?
Well, I'm told why this one is not clear, because I think most time it's clear, but I think it's a difficult question because the color depends on the flowers that we
Yes, yes. So you can also taste it, or you can even check it out. So this is a question. I'll tell you which one is the organic. The organic is number the one that you're holding. Which number is this one? 1. 1. Number. Which one is this one? Number 3 is the natural one that I got from my home. It's homemade actually. And number 3 is the manufactured. I didn't guess them because I am smart. No. Believe me, I got them and I said I even noted them. But later on, you're going to discover it yourself. Okay? Each group has inquiry-based cycle activity. With each activity, we have 5 phases of the inquiry-based learning, right? So we're going to do an activity, different activities, and then after that, you're going to tell me which phase is it. You have to paste it, and please take the inquiry-based learning one. Open it. It should have 4 cut-out papers, 5 cut-out papers of discuss, ask, reflect, create, and you can put it on the side now, the honey. We can keep the honey on the side. You're going to have time to enjoy investigating honey later on. So, after each phase, you're going to glue the phase that you're going to discover, okay? This is continuous activity. Okay? Have you ever... Yes, tell me, can I help?
No, we're discussing the arrangement.
Yes, excellent. So tell me, have you ever used the Wonder Wall? Who used it? And who else? You're the only one who used it? Yes? How do you find it? Yes? It increases the students' curiosity. Okay, now, before we start with the Wonder Wall activity, what I want you to see when you start looking at the pictures later on, I want you to think of 3 important questions. What do you see? What do you think? And what do you wonder about? But it's not always the good thing because my students will always take the easy way out. Simple questions. What we can do for those students and for us as teachers, because we always fall in the problem of the question, it's a big problem for me. When I ask my teachers, I want you to ask critical questions. Seriously? We forget when we're in the classroom. So, this is the see, think, and wonder sheet that helps a lot in the classroom, but we can always put in front of us the thinking stamps. So as a student, as a teacher, if you go back here, I can go back to the questions and I can remember what questions do I want to ask. Yes, it's a prompt. Also, if I want to move my questioning level from one part to another, I can keep this chart for them, in front of them. For us, we always fall in the part what is defined. We rarely reach those phases. Yes? So when we have them in front of us in the classroom, we can also refer to them as teachers and as students. Now, each group has, I would send you everything, and this is the heart of the thinking. The inquiry process is very important. The inquiry process asks questions. You ask questions during all phases. So if you have this one in front of you as a teacher when you're applying the inquiry-based learning, students will be able to remember the phases, will be able to remember the questions that they need to ask, and will be able to get back to it in every step. Now, each one of you has a group of pictures. This is the Wonder Wall activity. I want you to spread them on the table and say, what do I see? What do I think? What do I wonder? This activity is for 5 minutes. You can work as a group. No, this one, leave it. After every phase, you're going to go back to it. Now, this activity, please. So, the Wonder Wall activity. Spread the papers. Write on a sticky notes. What do I see? And when I say what do I see about this image? What do I see in the picture? What am I thinking about when I look at the picture, sticky notes?
All of them together. Any picture which I take.
This is an open inquiry session. So you can decide if you want to look at one or at all of them. I'm giving you the opportunity to choose. So, what I Usually, if you're in the classroom and you want to focus on one theme, one topic, you can choose different pictures related to the same topic. But today I want it to be open. When you finish, please post it. Decide on one. If you said that you wanted one, and yes, please. Yes. You write what I see, what I think, and what I wonder.
And different, you know.
You can do it different or one.
Yeah, okay. First on the wonder wall?
Yes. With the picture if you want.
With the picture?
Yes.
Do you want me to glue the picture?
Yeah, I can give. Here you go. You have it. Yes. Feel free. You decided on one picture that you are going to think of together? Or okay. This is the first one. You did it on your own. Post it here. So we did it separately. Yes, that's fine. It's fine. Later on, you're going to decide to work together. One more minute. One more minute. Up to you. 1 minute. It's fine. Now, while you're waiting for the others to finish, I want from you to think what she said and what you said, and to decide whether you want to use the same topic to talk about one topic. Yes. Yes. Okay, time's up. Time's up? Not for you. Already finished. Time's up?
This is what my students do.
Feel free to continue. Yes. Don't worry, you'll have time to reflect. Don't worry. Just one. I'm trying to incorporate as many activities as I can, so that you can benefit from this session. Can we please post the pictures and what I think, what I wonder? If you want. You used all the pictures, right? Excellent. Excellent. So you don't need to post anything, just post your questions. Okay? No, what I think, what I would. Yes. Without the pictures. Okay. Usually in the Wonder Wall activity, it's based on one theme, one question that you want your students, one big idea that you want your students to start thinking of. So it's in the introductory lesson where you ask the students, when I'm doing this activity, what am I doing for the students? When I put a picture for them, or when we did the honey thingy activity, or it can be a video, what did we do? It made you what? Think of what? Who knows about honey? Who knows any idea about honey? Right? So did it activate the prior knowledge? Yes. A very important component in the Wonder Wall is it activates the prior knowledge and the thinking, the questioning skills. Okay, the curiosity. You were curious. This is the most important element of inquiry-based learning, is having curious students. We are all curious to know. Believe me, I was very curious to know what's the difference between organic. I did lots of research when I decided to. Yes, there's a huge difference, it seems. So, I'm going to read one, and then in groups, you're going to decide on one big idea that you're going to follow. So what I see, description of real and fake honey, there should be a small difference, I think, if I can recognize by sight, visual. So this topic is related to experimental and researches that are required. So your big idea here, who wrote this one? Yes. So your big idea here is what? Recognition of between fake and organic, right? I want you to work in groups now. In groups, after posting it, think of what you did silently, write some questions, and discuss, share, pair with your pair, and then share. Because we don't have lots of groups, you can share, skip the pair one, and share it together. After you finish in groups, I want you to write the question, the big question, in the inquiry planner. Inquiry planner is very important for you as teachers and for the students. I realized when teaching and when attending classes that it's very important to have my students' mindset organized. They know what is the second step. So the graphic organizers and the charts help the students a lot when they are learning. So in English, it's very important to have these ready for them. So use the inquiry planner to write your questions as a group, and the where will I search this, and what will be your hypothesis about it, okay? In groups, we will do this in 2 minutes, okay? In your group, think about one topic you're going to choose today. What is the question that you are asking? For them, one of her questions, she wanted to identify the differences between fake and real. How is she going to research it? Is she going to check for articles? Am I going to go to search on YouTube? Am I going to do a real experiment? So these are the questions that you should ask. You should ask yourself. Okay? In groups, please start working. Her question is like that. What do you want to do as your group? Which topic you want to follow? Fake or real? You want to talk about the consumption? Yes. Set your questions. You already worked. Usually, you don't have to put lots of papers in front of your students. My target from this session is to give you as much as I can to take with you. So, if you're doing the inquiry planner, you should not be doing everything at the same time, okay? Maybe. So, can I stop you? You can try it on him. Now, this stage, what do we call the first phase of the IBM that we just completed? Let's go back. So what is it? Ask. They said ask. What? From the papers, from the cycle. You have the cycle here. From the cycle. What was the first cycle? They said ask. You said ask. Excellent. You said ask. Excellent job. So the first phase is ask. The goal of this phase is to activate prior knowledge and to raise the hypothesis. The tools that you can use: videos, pictures, a problem. Sometimes you can tell them a problem or a story at the beginning of your English lesson, and you can simply state the problem. Let them think. Let them think. The purpose of the first phase is to make our students think. Strategies: you can do scaffolding, you can do brainstorming, wonder wall, wall clouds, KWL charts are very important, KUD charts are very important. Think, pair, share. They are all related to thinking, and many more. Now, write the questions you want your investigations to target. You were talking here about how you want to know how is it that is it good for people who have diabetes or not? So this is one question. So use the eye chart The inquiry chart is very important at this stage for one reason. I will write the question, state the source. So if I'm going to use the YouTube, I will write my question and I used YouTube for this one. If I'm going to use the scientific center, I use the scientific center. If I'm going to use the information center, I use the information center, the article. You are going to do. So also this one is not as important as, it is important, but you don't need to use everything at the same time, okay? So the inquiry chart will help you to identify the resource. Maybe you are going to, I did lots of researches based on YouTube. The experiments I searched for YouTube, on the internet, I did them myself. So you can, it can be a variety. If you are doing something related to an English lesson, a character inspection would be amazing, where the students have to go somewhere and search for a character. You can do whatever you want. Now, you can either choose a center you want to look from. You can sit in your place and use your iPad. Usually in your school you have iPads for the students. Later on in the additional resources you will receive a list of applications you can use for the students based on each cycle. If you do not wish to use the internet, feel free to use the information center. Also, in order to monitor sometimes your students' access to information, and if I want them only to be focused on one point, you can use the information center. Now, in the information center, usually it's related to articles, to books, to investigation, depending on what you want them to look for. You can put for them a list of stories related, if I'm introducing the topic of transportation. I can put a car, I can put stories related to car, so everything related to this topic, you can put it in the information center. And the scientific center, I already put for you different types of honey, water, some cloths, and everything related to them. Yes. In the investigation center, it's okay. It means you're interested. In the investigation center, there is an experiment sheet where you write down your observations. So you wanted to check if honey is by observation, if there is a difference, right? So you can go to the center and write your question, your equipment, method. You have it there. And one important thing for your kids is to label for them everything when they're looking for. Also, there is a set of experiments you can check, and you can try them over there. This is you will have 7 minutes for this activity to complete, okay? So discuss in your group where you want to go and start working. You can also divide your work between your students. So if I'm a student who likes the internet and I'm good at Googling and stuff, not you. You are the facilitator. Students need to decide upon themselves, together, okay? As a group, they have to decide who is the one in charge of it. Yes, but as a facilitator at the beginning, when you're introducing the inquiry-based learning, it's beneficial to tell them, you know what? I think you are good at Googling. Maybe you can benefit from him as being the researcher in this session. So you are allowing them to have the choice, and at the same time, you're not interfering. Yes, you're guiding them at the beginning. Please start with this one. You have 7 minutes to finish it. Okay. This is when I start to lose time. I like to try to keep time, so I set timers. Can we go back to our seats? You're loving it, right? Apparently. Now, can I have your attention? You like it? Really? Good. This is good. It's encouraging. Okay. I know that especially the research phase takes lots of time. So if you prepare the materials ahead of time for the students, in order not to even they can access, if they can access the iPads, you can prepare everything for them ahead of time, and the centers and the experiment. So even if I'm teaching English, okay, And I want them to identify the differences between two things. It's very important when they have hands-on. So if I want them to tell me about the life cycle of a bee, it's very nice if I put a puzzle in front of them, if I put something for them to research, a game. Students will be engaged. Did you notice up till now, you are grown-ups, and it's 3 o'clock, 3:30, and you're tired, and still you have the capacity to be engaged. Why? Who can tell me why? What did you say? Why are you interested? Now.
I'm interested because you made it interesting, because you gave me different options and freedom to decide how I want to learn.
If as a teacher you're saying that, imagine your student.
I'm curious to know the knowledge now, the question that I asked before.
See? If I told you what's the difference between honey, natural honey, and organic honey, would it left a huge impact? No. Who asked the questions? I asked the question. Now, you are students now. Who asked the question? The students. When you had a problem and you went back to the questions, was it helpful to have it here? It helps you a lot. Personally, it helps me as a teacher, because I always forget the critical part. I am always stuck in the understanding level with the students. Did you understand? Yes, I did. Now, what do you think the second phase of the IBL was? So investigation. Excellent job. Can you please glue investigation? What's the goal of investigation? Plan and decide what question they will search about. Choose the resources you need. Sort out the final info you need for creating your product. So after doing the researches, I have to create a product now. The tools, what did you use? iPad, technology, observation, the books, sharing information, strategy. Sometimes if you're looking for data, collecting data is very important. You can use graphs, you can use T-graphs, you can use whatever you want to conduct the project. Also, a very important strategy you can use if you don't have time, you can ask the students to prepare the materials ahead of time. You can ask them to prepare at home the materials, the experiment. We call this the flipped classroom. Students prepare and participate in class activities. During the class activities, they discuss the results and they reflect upon them. So the flipped classroom is very useful also when you're doing inquiry-based learning. It's very nice. It reduces time, and at the same time, students are very excited to learn, and at home you have something other than giving them the regular homework to do. You can be a smart teacher by giving them your work. How do I present my product?
Sorry, can I ask?
Yes.
Sorry, just on this point, when I ask them to prepare to participate,
Yes.
do I want to give different roles or different tasks to different students, or do I give them a general task so that they would always?
Depending on the activity. Let's say, give me a topic you want them to search on.
مثلا I'm a science teacher, gravity.
Gravity. So your entire classroom will be working about gravity.
Yeah.
In your books, in Lebanon, you have the books. You have different experiments that they can do at home. So you can ask the entire classroom to do this experiment and to write down their results. And then when they come back to the classroom, they can share their findings together. Or if you're teaching them about characters or about theme, about, let's say, the genre of a certain story, you can ask them to read different types of stories and write down their ideas. And when they come back to the classroom the second day, on the wonder wall, they can write their questions, what they did, what is it that they thought about, what are they wondering about, and then you can start working, sharing their information together. Okay? Any questions so far? All clear? Now, we did the asking phase. We did the investigation phase. Now I want you to prepare your presentation. You are going to tell us what is it that you are looking for. A very important paper for me is the reporting template. This template, Brunner's reporting template, is very important. Why? Because it helps me to set up my main idea. Who is my audience? So imagine if I came to you today with the inquiry-based learning, talking about activities that are not even applicable for K-5, and my topic, my audience are K-5 teachers, and it won't work. So who are my audience? My audiences. What is the first question that I want to focus on? The second question that I want to focus on, and the third question, this one, that I want to focus on. Again, you don't have to use all of these in the lesson, but I'm trying to help and yes, give you more stuff. Now, the presentation phase, you have flip chart, you have markers. Here you have colored papers, you have sticky note, you have a stapler, whatever you want, additional material, feel free to have. But I want your presentation to be ready in 5 minutes. Okay? I'll give you 7 minutes. I'll give you 7 minutes. The key point here is not to present the best product. We want to know what happened, but so that we can benefit from the second stages. Are you ready to start? I want you to be extremely creative. So you might not choose any of what I have. You might be acting, for example. I don't know. It's up to you. Let's set the timer. Okay. Time's up. What do you think this phase was? I know, I'm rushing you guys. No, can we go back? You can leave it because you're going to present. You know why? This phase is what? You said create. What do you think this phase is? Create? Discuss? Did you discuss? Create, right? So this is the phase. This phase is called create. The role is to examine your finding and data, to consider how to present the findings. You can use cross-cultural activities, you can use arts, you can use drama, you can use whatever you want. You have to know your audience, you have to sort out the data collected, and to choose the presentation type. So far, this was the creation type. The presentation part, each group will present, okay? So if everyone participated, some students are shy to present. You'll always have the extrovert and the introvert person in the classroom. So the students will always allow the extrovert student to go and present. While the student is presenting, it's very important for others to write down. This is one chart that you can use. It's about the topic that they are talking about, or the idea. What I learned from my from my colleagues, what do I still want to know? Another one, which is very nice, it's called, sorry, 3 to 1 note. 3 things I learned from this presentation, 2 questions I have, and 1 picture I can draw. Okay? So you can use this at lower stages as well. Now, who's going to be the first one presenting? In the meantime, you're going to write down. Here you go. Don't forget. Each one will have one, hopefully, if I have enough. Yes. Each one can write his own idea on your table there is. Each one should have one, and write where the other is presenting very quickly. Yeah. Yes. You can help your friend. Yes.
So our question was, where is honey produced and what challenges do these countries face? Okay. We picked an article. It was from the Information Center. We did not go to the Scientific Center. We read an article that basically mentioned from the largest and going downwards, producing honey, and then in each basically country they stated in common challenges that they find, which includes health, competition, and companies, pests, diseases, and so on. And then we basically summarize this knowledge by connecting, by developing the connection skills, and we got to a conclusion which is simply that bee survival depends on the environment's preservation of the environment.
So, at this stage, as a facilitator, as a teacher, I asked the questions. What was the topic about? Where honey is produced, right? What did you learn from what she said?
The list of countries.
List of countries. Can you name few countries?
New Zealand, Ukraine, Brazil, Mexico.
Do you have any questions you want to ask her? What do you want to know? Go back. Go back. Go back. Why these countries, not other? This is one question. Yes. Who is the so you are creating a new challenging questions. And the teacher, did I ask any question? Did I ask? They asked, right? What was my job? What was my job? Facilitate. That's it. Okay? Thank you. Can we clap for her, please? And for this team. Can you show us your presentation very quickly? Yes. Well done. Yes. Wow. This is creativity, right? Very quickly, yes.
We looked at two sides. We looked at two sides of the honey. My partners looked at what was fake honey and its properties, and I looked at the health. Well, I was curious to see, since honey is since sugar is bad for us, and honey is a sugar, so is honey really good for us, and why? So there were quite a lot of answers. So in terms of the real honey, it suppresses the appetite because it promotes hormones, contains the bee pollen, boosting immunity, and also makes people less sensitive to pollen. Promotes antioxidants, also promotes sleep, and has a lower GI insect index, so it's absorbed and broken down slower than sugar or fructose. So it's better than actually than fruit syrup. And in terms of the fake honey, if you'd like to.
What's interesting is honey can be tampered with in so many ways.
Yes.
You can add water, you can add glucose, or syrup, or even starch.
You can burn it also.
That's how they make it fake. Now, how do you discover fake honey? Fake honey is runny, real honey is very viscous.
Yes.
Fake honey has no crystals, which is something that I did not expect. Fake honey is clear.
I thought the opposite.
Exactly.
And this is what I was sharing with my Diana
It's
today.
counterintuitive. And when we checked at the back, it was the real honey was really crystalline and had sugar crystals in it.
Yes.
We attempted an experiment, and the fake honey dissolved easily in water.
Well, ask the other one. No.
So the real honey was lumpy. And another interesting experiment to discover fake honey is that you can put a dry piece of toast in honey, and if it gets soggy and wet, then it's fake because it absorbs the water of the honey. And
If you burn it, you add more
vinegar.
and you burn it, and it was so sticky, it is the real one.
What did they gain from the experiment? Now, when you go home, are you going to buy the same type of honey, or are you going to test it? Yeah. So see, it's related to real life application. Again, you ask questions and you check the topic. Excellent job. Please clap for them. We follow the same cycle. Please, are you ready? Excellent job.
Okay, so we went with a Venn diagram because we looked at the difference between natural and
And we also wanted to see what they have in common. So looking at natural honey, it's in its original state, it's unchanged, and may not receive the USDA stamp. Sometimes it might, depending on the quality of the natural honey. And what natural honey has in common with organic honey is that it comes obviously from bees. They are both edible, safe to eat. They are both taste sweet and both from a natural location, so taken straight from beehives, basically.
Okay, and now if we want to look at the organic honey, the way the organic is the way it's grown and processed, and there is no modification for the organic honey.
Interesting. Now, as I said, in every phase, as a facilitator, you make sure that the students are writing what they understood, what they learned, and the question. Excellent job. Excellent. Please clap for them. What do we think we call this phase? What's the fourth phase? Discussion. Is it always, what other types of things can we use? We can use a PowerPoint presentation, a video, a drama, whatever, yeah, anything you want. Art, what you did, you can always excellent job. So in the discussion phase, you present the product and you discuss with your friends. The tools are acting, technology, display, solution to a problem. What I learned, chart, 3 to 1, also in the other. Now, the reflection phase takes lots of time. So from your questions, you can do the reflection. Also, a very nice activity you can do is the colors, the hats. When they are thinking about the key question, always put for them the question. The initial question, what was it? What was the path chosen? Did we reach the target we wanted to or not? Did it answer our initial question or not? So if it did not answer the initial question, what happens is we go back and we reflect and we do the same cycle. That's why we call it a cycle. Or you can take the questions that the students have, reflect upon them as a group, and start a new lesson. Okay? Now, what do you think we call the fifth phase? Reflection. It's the very important part of the reflection. Phase 5 is reflect on the final product and check on what went well and what requires more research. Tools, thinking hats, Qwl Chart, drawing, reflection graphic organizer. Also, there is a very nice reflection graphic organizers that you can use. Now, any question related to the 5 phases? Can we recall the 5 phases together? What was the first one? Ask. Second one? Investigate. Create. Discuss. And reflect. Excellent job. Now, we have different levels of inquiry-based learning that we can use in our classroom. Please, allow me to remove, can you please remove all the papers that we just used? And types of inquiry-based learning, you have this activity that you are going to work on for 5 minutes as well. There is a lesson plan in it. There are different types with the definition and the A4 paper that you can use. You're going to read from the lesson plan and decide after that, because the lesson plan has different structures. It describes the activities that are structured inquiry and everything else. You have 5 minutes to do this activity, and then, yes, I know, I'm rushing you. 5 minutes to do this activity in order to identify how many levels do we have? 4. What are they? Can you tell me what are they? So you have 4 levels. What are they from your paper? It should have, yes, these. Okay? Structure, inquiry. Guided one. Open. What's the 4th one? You have it on. Here. Yes, you have to glue them together. So you are going to identify which level is this one. Excellent job. And then the definition. The lesson plan helps you to identify the levels. Okay. Time's up. Can you tell me? What was the first level you got? You're so engaged in it. Are we ready? Are we ready to share what we got? Now, I'm going to post it, and you're going to tell me in your groups whether you got it right or not. Level 1 is confirmation inquiry. Who got it right? Thumbs up if you got it right, thumbs down if you got it wrong. Level 1, confirmation inquiry. Who got it right? You got it right? We're going to read about it. Can you read about confirmation inquiry for me? One lesson. Yes, yes.
At the highest level of inquiry-based learning, within broad parameters, learners establish ownership of the experiment and findings.
Inquiry, it's level 1. So level 1 usually is what? It's the level, this is the most familiar that we use in the classroom. Okay? No. So confirmation is level 1. The confirmation inquiry is the level 1. It's the easiest one. That's guided by the teacher. Teacher gives the instructions. Okay? Who got it right with the structure? With the, you got it right? Excellent. Now, students are provided with the questions. We do that very often, right? We provide the students with the questions. So the teacher here takes a huge part of it. Level 2 is the structured inquiry. Who got it right? You got it right? Excellent. So the structured inquiry is similar to level 1, but involves developing a foundation for inquiry and critical thinking. Okay? The teacher still provides the question, but gives more time for the students. Okay? More open questions. Level 3, which is the guided inquiry, where students ask the questions, but there is a certain limitation. What we did today is called open inquiry, because I didn't know what was the topic, the outcome of the session. You came up with different presentations. So mine was open inquiry because I didn't know the outcome of it. So it was very creative. It was up to you. Okay? So you chose it. So we have 4 levels. Level 1, confirmation. Level 2, the structured. Level 3, the guided inquiry, the open inquiry. Where do you think we can use those levels? Can you give me an idea, an example on using those inquiries, those levels? An activity maybe, or maybe a lesson. What do you think? How can I use them? Can I use them in my classroom? Can I use on a daily basis level 1 and level 2? And 3. And 3, right? It's always guided. 4 sometimes. How can you use the 4?
I never use it.
Maybe research. Research, write a report.
Let's just, yes.
If you ask them to write a report and then specify the topic.
Yes.
And they can use all these resources as a side topic.
Or maybe you use the theme, the general theme. I chose honey, let's say.
Yes.
But you left them the choice. You can do it as a project. You can do it as a genius hour. You can ask them during one lesson during the week where they can go and search for it. So, how can we implement the IBL? In one activity, in one lesson, in one unit, in one period, in a whole program. So I can decide to start my inquiry-based learning activities from one stage to another. I move the students from one stage to another. But first, I need to train my students. So I will not throw them with the activity one, the phase 1, ask, investigate, explore. I have to give them some time to move from one phase to another, one step to another. And in this way, believe it or not, at the beginning it's very tiring for the teacher, but then the teachers become more happy in using it. Final activity, I want you in groups to write your own definition of what you think inquiry-based learning after what we did in this session. So write it down, active learning. In your group, you have one minute to write down. Okay, Very quickly, so that I finish on time. In your groups, can you tell me in your group, what did you write about the definition? Can you raise your voice so that everyone can hear you, please?
Boosting creativity, getting out information easily, then putting it inside creating only intelligent differences between students.
Excellent. What did you write about yours?
Involving the students in activities related to real-life events to improve their performance and put it to a higher level.
Excellent job. What about your definition?
It's a student-centered process with 5 steps where students should ask, investigate, create, discuss, and reflect.
Excellent job. So it's an active learning. Were you bored at any stage during this lesson? Now, if I am going to answer your questions, I want you to finally write what you learned today from this session. If you can, on your sticky notes, come and write down what you learned from this session. Maybe by then, we will check if was I able to answer your questions today that you targeted in the what I want to know. Did anyone write something about what I want to know that I was not able to tackle? Everything was answered? Wallah, I did a good job. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. I will be sending you an email with all the materials. If you have any questions related to this topic, feel free to send me an email. I'll be more than happy to reply. Write what you learn. I have one more gift for you on your sticky notes. Can we write it here and can we add it so that we can read it quickly? And I have a giveaway gift for you, a small one, because I was not able to cover lots of resources. This is a booklet, a small booklet with additional resources, with applications that you can use, with the new ideas for creativity. I hope that I have enough. Let's hope so. Sorry. Let's hope I have enough. Sorry. You got one? And one for your colleague, please. In the end of this session, can anyone read for me what I learned today so that I can wrap it up? What did you learn today? Who would like to share? Learning never ends. About the inquiry-based learning. Of course it never ends.
I learned how to improve the use of my inquiry question.
Excellent job. Thank you.
Yes, I learned that too, and I learned sort of how to keep the questions related to الobjective تبعي أنا as a teacher. لأنه دائما we open لأنهم نريد إنه يكتبوا على wonder wall and they end up with questions that have nothing to do with the unit or nothing to do with the topic.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes?
I learned that active learning lasts forever and that you agree.
Oh, thank you so much. I tried to be. I have somebody who keeps on pushing me to be like that. This is Diana. She's my friend. Diana. She always pushes me. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope you benefited from this session. It was great working with you. Have a great day. Thank you.